So in this video, I'm going to be exposing Rihanna and Jay-Z because they deleted my Rihanna video. So since they deleted my video, it made me want to revisit this topic because I found more information about Jay-Z and Rihanna that's going to shock you because they actually admit in plain sight that they're fallen angels. So I'm going to be exposing that in this video, and then I'll play you guys the video that got deleted at the end of the video. So this is basically going to be like two videos in one. So let's get right into it. So as you guys can see, Jay-Z and Rihanna both do the same symbolism because Jay-Z signed Rihanna to his record label, and many people let them get away with this symbolism because they think that this is just Jay-Z's Rockefeller record label. But you guys have to question the name of that label. It's literally named after Rockefeller, who's a Freemason, and Freemasons just so happen to do this same symbolism. So don't be one of those people in my comments that say, oh, they're just doing the Rockefeller symbol. No, this is clearly a Freemasonry symbol, and Freemasonry is a disguise for Satanism. But I'm going to get deeper into this symbol later on. For now, let's talk about the fact that Jay-Z is a fallen angel. As you guys can see, here's an old picture of a man on the left who looks identical to Jay-Z, and nobody can deny this. So for all the people that don't believe that celebrities are fallen angels, how do you explain this? Because this guy on the left is way older than Jay-Z, so clearly celebrities are not human, and I'll be breaking down what they actually are because there's so much evidence that they're fallen angels. So here's another comparison of these two characters, and they look exactly alike once again. So let's get into the details about this because the photo of this guy was taken in Harlem, New York in 1933. Keep that in mind because Masonry equals 33. And notice how in this article at the bottom it says that this is enough scientific evidence to declare Jay-Z immortal. And obviously it's way deeper than that because they're not saying specifically why he's immortal or what he is. And that's what I'll be breaking down in this video because there's no articles out there that are going to tell you that Jay-Z is actually a fallen angel. But notice how they hint at the fact that he's not human. You know, they're openly admitting that he's immortal because there's no other way to explain this picture. So check this out. That picture was from 1933 and Jay-Z was born in 1969. So it's literally impossible for a real human being to be a grown man in 1933 and then be born again 36 years later in 1969. So this is obviously a fallen angel that has created multiple vessels for him to deceive people in. And also keep in mind that this picture was taken in Harlem, New York, and Jay-Z was born in Brooklyn, New York. So that's obviously not a coincidence. And on top of that, like I said, it was taken in 1933, and Masonry equals 33. And Jay-Z is a character that's highly connected to Masonry and Illuminati. And another connection with Illuminati is the fact that he was born in 1969 and Illuminati equals 69. So now that we proved that Jay-Z is obviously not a real human, let's take a look at his younger pictures because this picture is very suspicious. He's 12 years old in this picture. And the funny thing about this picture is that he literally looks like a grown woman because all celebrities are inverted. So that's why Jay-Z looks so feminine right here. And this is not normal for a real human being. You know, we look way different when we're younger. But for some reason, Jay-Z seems to have the same exact face when he was 12 years old. So let's take a closer look at this picture. And as you can see, he literally looks the same as when he was presented to us as an adult. And here's an even younger picture of him. And again, he looks like a grown person. He doesn't have the face of a child. And that's because this fallen angel has obviously been around before, as I showed you guys in the other picture. So now let's talk about Rihanna because she openly admits that she's a fallen angel as well. And she does it with the symbolism. There's so many celebrities that do this. As you can see, here's a picture of Rihanna wearing these big, obnoxious wings, indicating that she's a fallen angel. And here's another picture where she wore these white feathers all around her, which again, she's symbolizing the fact that she used to be an angel because now she's a fallen angel. Because the crazy thing about this is they used to be good angels, but they decided to follow Satan instead of Yahweh. Here's another picture where she's at this carnival and she's wearing a bunch of feathers again, and these really look like wings. So she's symbolizing again that she's a fallen angel. So she likes to wear wings a lot. And she even has an album called Good Girl Gone Bad. And again, that's symbolizing what happened to the angels that fell. She used to be a good angel, but then she fell, and now she's a bad angel. And as you can see, she's doing a very weird pose. I don't even know how she's standing up like this. and she's doing one eye symbolism. And notice how half of her dress is white and the other half is in the darkness and it's black. And another interesting thing about this character is that she has an unreleased album called Dark Angels. And right here it says Dark Angels was a rumored album to be released around 2009, in between Good Girl Gone Bad and Rated R. And there's a lot of leaks about it apparently. So people made a lot of pictures trying to make a fake album cover for this. And as you guys can see, they're painting her as a dark angel. That's why she has these black wings right here. And again, here's another one. And her hands look really creepy right here. Her skin is literally gray. And here's another picture that she has with wings. So they symbolize so much that they're fallen angels. Even A$AP Rocky has a music video called Angels Part 2. And I forgot to mention this in my recent video about him. So now let's get into the Bible verses that talk about fallen angels so that you can see that this is a real thing. Because there's so many people that read the Bible, but they dismiss the fact that fallen angels are mentioned multiple times in the Bible. And this is a very important detail because a lot of people know that Satan exists, but they don't really talk about his fallen angels that are with him. And Satan is using them to deceive everyone. And how else can they be deceiving people? Really ask that question. The only way to deceive the entire world is to create celebrities and have these fallen angels be glorified on the world stage. And now everyone's idolizing these fallen angels and seeing them as gods. So Revelation 12:9 says the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to earth and his angels were thrown down with him. So notice how it goes into detail and it says that he deceives the whole world. And this is true. We've all been deceived by Satan at least once in this world, whether it was through a celebrity or through some information that was misleading. You know, Satan deceives people so much, and he has many angels that were thrown down with him that are helping him deceive the whole world. And they even made statues about this. You can look this up. Here's a statue of a fallen angel, and there's a snake wrapped around his legs. So Ephesians 6:12 is another verse that talks about fallen angels. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places." So notice how it says the rulers of the darkness of this world. And who else rules the world? As soon as you get on social media, the main thing being promoted is celebrities and politicians. They're all fallen angels that are ruling this world. And this verse is trying to tell us that those are the real enemies. So now let's take a look at some more pictures of Rihanna that are very disturbing and that indicate she's a fallen angel that loves Satan. So as you guys can see, she has fangs right here and she's licking a snake. And right here, she took this picture with a bunch of snakes on her head, similar to the Medusa. And then she has a snake wrapped around her neck. And right here, she's showing her fangs once again. And the crazy thing about this is Aaron Carter even got this tattooed on his face. And you have to really question, why would a real person get this type of tattoo on their face of another celebrity? They do this type of stuff because they all work together to deceive the world. And if you guys are interested in my Aaron Carter video, I'll put a link in the description below because I exposed him 4 months ago. So here's another picture of Rihanna holding a snake at a party. And a lot of celebrities were taking pictures with this same snake. And Chris Brown was there and he took these pictures with this snake. And notice that he's doing one eye symbolism. And here's another hint that Rihanna has given to tell us that she's a fallen angel. She said that she thought she could be Chris Brown's guardian angel. And then right here, she's wearing a snake outfit. You know, she has this snake hat and this snake dress. And right here, she's wearing snake heels. Here's a closer look at her snake shoes. And then A$AP Rocky is also wearing some snake pants right here, along with this other celebrity. So there's many celebrities that glorifies and worship the snake. Like this one right here, doing one eye symbolism with the snake. And the snake symbolizes Satan. And when Satan was cursed by Yahweh, Yahweh put him under us. And that's why Psalms 91:13 says, "You will tread upon the fierce lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you will trample down." So they are lower than us, and that's why we shouldn't worship them or idolize them, because if we have Yahweh on our side, we are way more powerful than they are, and they don't want you to know that. So the snake clearly symbolizes the snake in the Garden of Eden. Genesis 3:13 says, "Then Yahweh God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" And the woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate." So why would we worship a snake if he's the one that's trying to deceive us? And then here you got Rihanna walking on water, which is symbolizing what Joshua did, when he walked on water. And then right here, she has this magazine cover, and notice how it says truth on her face. And on the bottom, it says rebel. And it says Rihanna rewrites the rules. She rebelled against Yahweh, and she's trying to create her own rules on this earth and get people to think that it's the truth. And that's why she put that on her face. So now let's talk about this diamond symbolism, because one of her biggest songs is called Diamonds. And throughout this whole song, she's saying shine bright like a diamond. But if you look at the actual meaning of diamond, it comes from diamond, which is another word of demon. So she's telling us in plain sight that she's a demon. And as you guys can see, diamonds and diamonds are two very similar words. All they did was move the I to the left and they added a D. And now people think it's a whole nother word. But in reality, she's symbolizing the fact that she's a demon. And this was the last song she performed at the Super Bowl. And she threw up this sign at the end. So let's talk about this hand symbol, because a lot of people just think that it's the Rockefeller record label symbol. But it's clearly way deeper than that, because one of the owners of this record label admitted himself that the name is inspired off of John D. Rockefeller. Check this out.
I mean, because I assume it's based on, John D. Rockefeller.
It was.
And John D. Rockefeller was a Freemason. As you guys can see, here's a text taken from John D. Rockefeller's Masonic Creed. And it says, "We will keep their lives short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water as well as in the air. They will be covered in poisons wherever they turn. The soft metals will make them lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many funds, and yet we will give them more poison. Chemical poisons will be absorbed through the skin of idiots who believe that certain hygiene and beauty products presented by great actors and musicians will bring eternal youth to their faces and bodies, and through their thirsty and hungry mouths, we will destroy their minds and systems of internal organs, reproduction. However, their children will be born as disabled and deformed, and we will hide this information." So it couldn't be any more obvious than that, how evil that character is. And Jay-Z named his record label after him. So that should show you how evil he is. And he even has this album called Reasonable Doubt, where he's hiding his face and he's doing the 666 hand symbol. And he has this song called Devils. And he put an apostrophe after the D, but it still says Devils. And then he has this other album called the Blac album. And black symbolizes darkness, which symbolizes evil, because these fallen angels are evil angels. And as you guys can see, he has this song with Kanye West called Lucifer. So he's telling you in plain sight that he's on Lucifer's side. And now let's talk about this fake name Lucifer. I exposed this name in my Damar Hamlin video because Satan wants us to call him Lucifer, because Lucifer is a positive name. And he doesn't like the name Satan because it's negative. So he created this fake name, which is Lucifer. And this was never his name, by the way. But he likes to call himself Lucifer because Lucifer means bearer of light. And this instantly should remind you of 2 Corinthians 11:14 that says, "Even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light." So he's literally disguising himself as an angel of light by calling himself Lucifer. And here's the lyrics of his song Lucifer that he has with Kanye West. And Kanye made the beat for this song. So these lyrics that you see right here in the beginning are lyrics of the beat that's playing in the background. And this song is very creepy, by the way. I don't recommend you listen to it because it's extremely creepy the way they say these lyrics. So it starts off by saying, "Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth. Lucifer, Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm from the murder capital where we murder for capital." And then it just repeats Lucifer over and over. And then Jay-Z says, "Kanye, you did it again, you a genius." So he's praising him for making this demonic beat. And notice how the lyrics of this song are identical to Isaiah 14:12 of the King James Version of the Bible. It says, "How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit. And this verse basically talks about how Satan fell from heaven because he wanted to be worshipped like the Most High, and he wanted to be bigger than the Creator, which doesn't make sense because how can you be bigger than the one who created you? But anyways, the reason why Jay-Z and Kanye used this verse in their song is because they're letting you know that they want to be worshipped and they want to be higher than the Most High. And let's talk about this verse real quick because King James is very corrupt. Satan purposely removed his own name from the Bible and changed it to Lucifer in the King James Version and in most other English versions. As you guys can see, it says Lucifer, son of the morning. But if you look at the Hebrew word that is supposed to be there, it's actually Halel. And I went more into detail about what this name actually means in my Damar Hamlin video. I'll put a link to that video in the description. But when he fell, his name was changed to Satan. But he doesn't like that name because it's very negative. So he changed it to Lucifer to disguise himself as an angel of light. And again, notice how it says that he wanted to be like the Most High. And that's exactly what celebrities do. They want to be idolized and worshipped like Yahweh himself. So that's why they make their own streets. As you guys can see, Rihanna literally has her own street. And she even has a statue of herself so that people can idolize her. Check this out. So now let's take a look at A$AP Rocky's song called Phoenix. In the third line, he says, F Illuminati lies, say I'm Lucified, which is a reference to Lucifer. Then he says, baptized in the gutter. So he's basically telling you that he's a dirty, filthy demon. Then notice he says, good and bad having wars, choose a side. So he's telling you to choose a side. They want you to choose Satan or Yahweh. There's no other choice. Then he says, now all hail to the Lord like you do to God. And I talked about this in my recent video about A$AP Rocky because Lord does not mean what most people think it means. As you guys can see, he has a song called Lord Pretty Flaco Jody. So he's admitting he's a fallen angel because Lord means one of the fallen angels of Satan and a false deity or idol. So he's calling himself a fallen angel in plain sight. And at the bottom of this verse, he said to praise the Lord like you do to God. So he wants you to praise Satan the same way you praise Yahweh. And notice how the word Baal means Lord. And this is the Phoenician deity named Baal. And as you guys can see, this is clearly a fallen angel that is being worshipped when you say praise the Lord. So this is why I don't recommend the King James Version of the Bible, because they removed the Creator's own name from his own Bible and replaced it with Lord and God. As you guys can see, Romans 10:13 in the King James Version says, for whoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. But his name is not Lord. So this is how they're deceiving people with the King James Version. They have people calling him Lord when Lord is actually Satan. So be very careful to not call him Lord, despite what King James says. But anyways, if you guys want a better version, I recommend reading the Legacy Standard Bible. This is one of the few Bibles that actually uses the Creator's real name, which is Yahweh. And although they don't use Yahshua's real name, they still use Jesus in this Bible. It's still better than the King James Version because at least it doesn't have Lord all over the place. So this version is slightly better. But anyways, Isaiah 1:18 says, come now and let us reason together, says Yahweh. Though your sins are as scarlet, they will be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they will be like wool. So scarlet and crimson are a shade of red. And the reason I bring this verse up is because Rihanna literally dressed up in all red and her backup dancers are wearing all white. So she's literally referencing this verse but trying to invert it because Yahweh said he'll turn our sin, which is represented as red, and turn it into white, which is purity. And what she's trying to represent here is to turn purity into sin, turn white into red. So that's why she wore this. And that's why in a lot of satanic rituals, they make the room red like this. And this is actually ASAP Rocky doing this ritual. So here's a video of Jay-Z and Kanye making the Lucifer song. And look at the hand symbol that Kanye does. So notice that he threw up that symbol, and he's also wearing orange. And orange equals 33, just like masonry. And Rihanna has a very demonic video called Umbrella, and one of them is called the orange version with Jay-Z. I hope none of you are still attached to Kanye because he's very deceitful. Right now, he's pretending to be an angel of light, but he's actually an angel of darkness. As you guys can see, why would a good person even make a song called Lucifer? So now let's talk about how Rihanna tried to change the narrative with this tweet in 2012. She said, "F you, Satan, F right off." And this is very contradictory because she literally has pictures doing the satanic Baphomet horns and licking Satan, which is represented with a snake right here. So this tweet is very contradictory. And on top of that, she has an interview admitting that she's a devil worshiper. Check this out.
My hand over my eye on my album cover.
Why is your hand over your eye on your album?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
And then her boyfriend, ASAP Rocky, openly admitted he's a devil worshiper as well with this picture. And here she is again doing the horns. And right here she's doing one-eye symbolism. And she's basically playing the devil in this video. Here's another one-eye symbolism in plain sight. And hopefully by now you can tell that all of these one-eye symbolism pictures are not by coincidence. They purposely put their hair to cover one eye. Like here, for example, she's literally promoting her product by holding it up against her eye so that she's blatantly covering one eye. And she even calls herself Bad Gal Riri, so she's admitting that she's bad and negative. And notice how in society they've programmed people to think that bad is good and good is bad. And there's a verse about that. I'll put it on the screen right now. There's so many guys that call girls bad as if it's a good thing. And we should stop doing that because this Bible verse clearly says, "Woe to those who turn bad into good and good into bad." And then right here, she has a very weird hairstyle that is similar to the Baphomet goat horns. So here's two videos of Rihanna getting banned from a country for being satanic. And then the other video is an interview where she admits that she's been around many exorcisms in her life.
While most red-blooded humans would be super excited for a visit from Rihanna, some Senegalese religious leaders are not feeling the singer and think she's bad news. The Guardian reports that a religious organization that goes by the extremely questionable name of No to Freemasonry and Homo and is comprised of around 30 groups really does not want the singer to enter the country. Why? What has Rihanna done to elicit such inhospitality? Well, No to Freemasonry and Homo have a strong hunch that Rihanna has been promoting the two things they hate most in this world, Freemasonry and homo. Oh, and I think she's part of the Illuminati too, because those things all go hand in hand. Their spokesperson made the organization's stance clear. Rihanna doesn't hide it. She's part of the Illuminati, a branch of Freemasons. But there's more. They're also claiming that Rihanna's trip to the nation coincides with a Freemason conference. Because of all of this, the organization has asked the Senegalese government to bar Rihanna from entering the West African country.
Hey, it's JoJo, right? That's Rihanna, and I swear to God,
This is becoming a very weird conversation.
this is not like this is we were talking about this, but we thought we'd catch it on camera. You've seen a real exorcism,
Yes.
like chick or dude, who the possessed
Well,
one?
a couple different times actually. I used to go to church, and like sometimes it will happen in church. And,
Really?
Yeah, in the middle of a ceremony, somebody would just get up screaming, spinning out of control, and like, you know, everybody would rush toward them and pray. But like, it's really like you can't control. It's like night and day.
So when they start going,
different voice.
and did you know the person that was possessed?
Yeah, like you know these people. And actually, it happened in a house before. They were praying all around this table. You know, we were young though, but my aunt, she's really involved in church.
Right.
So it was like a few of them, they were praying, and like one of the girls just got up. She just started screaming, and I remember they like locked us in the bedroom because like they didn't want the kids to see that. But she was screaming, like just throwing like herself around, and every time they prayed, like she would start screaming back, no, but like in the weirdest voice. I swear.
What'd she say?
It's funny now, but like I swear at the time I was like myself. When I went back into the room, the lights went out. But it was
By
raining.
themselves?
It was raining really bad outside, so like the power went out. But it was just not a good thing to happen at that time. We were like walking around with candles like this, just touching everybody. Everybody good, like so scared that somebody else was gonna start screaming.
Remember they throwing like holy water or
No, just praying. Like it took a while, but it was like serious prayers.
Dude! Okay, Rihanna has an album. Oh my god, what the hell? What just happened there? Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
So in that second video, notice how when she brought up the exorcism, she said that she thinks it's funny now. And I found that really creepy because she was probably the one possessing people in those places that she was in. She even said that she's seen this happen at church. And I've even seen myself, people get possessed at church. So I don't recommend going to church nowadays because there's so many false teachers and false pastors that are making these churches and deceiving people and spreading false information. And have you guys noticed that pastors rarely talk about fallen angels or demons? But anyways, Rihanna literally has a video where she looks possessed by demons. And notice how she's behind this cell right here. And her eyes are completely white, like a demon. And her being behind this cell is very symbolic to this verse in Jude 6 that says, "The angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation," which basically means the angels that fell. Then it says, "He has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day." So them being chained to everlasting darkness basically means that they're chained to be evil forever and they can no longer be good again. So that's why every celebrity promotes evil. And essentially this verse is basically saying that they can't be saved, that they are doomed to be judged and sent to hell on Judgment Day. So this is why you shouldn't pray for celebrities or hope they change so that they can be saved. You should stop thinking that they can be saved because the Bible tells us that the fallen angels cannot be saved. Then this gets a little bit deeper because the next verse says, "Just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them have indulged in the same way as these in gross fornication and having gone after strange flesh, are exhibited as an example in undergoing the punishment of eternal fire." So this verse is extremely deep, and this verse is telling us in plain sight that these are fallen angels, because in Jude 6 it's talking about the fallen angels, and in the very next verse it tells us that these fallen angels fornicated with strange flesh, which basically means they fornicated with humans, and because of this they're going to be punished in the eternal lake of fire. So this is pretty much straight up telling us what the book of Enoch tells us. Then Jude 14 through 15 says, "Now Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men also, saying, Behold, Yahweh comes with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have committed in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him." So right here, Jude is directly quoting this from the book of Enoch. And the book of Enoch is all about the fallen angels and how they mated with humans and created Nephilims. And the book of Enoch was removed from the Bible for this reason, because they don't want people to know what fallen angels did. You know, they deceived humans into knowing about astrology and sorcery and a bunch of other crazy things. And the book of Enoch goes into detail about this. Me and Divine Sade posted the book of Enoch for free on our website, which is divinesade.com. So you guys can read the book of Enoch for free. I'll put a link to this in the description below, or you can just type in divinesade.com. Or if you guys don't want to read it and you want to listen to it, you can go to our Patreon and we have it on there for free. The link to my Patreon is in the description. So now let's talk about this demonic music video that Rihanna has called Umbrella. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to play some clips exposing this music video. But for now, let's talk about the creator of this music video and what he said about it. So his name is Chris Applebaum, and he said, "I freely admit to having placed symbols of imagery in music videos just to mess around with people all throughout the 2000s. So he admits he placed satanic symbols in his music videos. Then he went on to say, ultimately what ended up happening with this video is it became so much more than what I thought it was going to be. I had people who were really dedicated to studying the Illuminati and all of the symbols and meanings And then the interviewer said, although you said the triangle wasn't intentional, was there other stuff that was? And then he says, there are some things in there that were intentional. And then he said, for a long time, I was like, why not? Every time I put something on air on MTV, there's a shrunken down image of the devil or some kind of odd symbol for just a single frame. Nobody's stopping me and nobody has stopped me. So he's admitting that he puts images of the devil in his music videos, including this Rihanna video. And notice how he said that it only shows up for a single frame. So that means it only shows up for like a split second and the average person's not going to notice it. And this has a deep effect on your subconscious mind. Because have you ever noticed when you watch a music video, the scenes are like cutting really fast and you don't even know what's being shown on the screen because everything's happening so fast. And I've even noticed in multiple videos that they show small frames of demons and devils in their music videos, just like how he admitted right here. So this is why I tell you guys to not watch their music videos or listen to their music, because they're also putting this stuff in their music. You know, there's demonic spells being casted in the background of their music that you can't even hear. So I would avoid listening to all of their music, including these famous gospel singers, because even they put demonic stuff in their music. So the guy that made her music video, Umbrella, literally admitted this. So that should show you that all of their symbols in their videos are not by coincidence. And they tell you in plain sight. I mean, if you look at her album cover, she's literally covering one eye. And right here she has this picture where somebody's covering both of her eyes. And this symbolizes the initiation ritual in Freemasonry, which they also do in the Church of Satan. So keep that in mind, because Freemasonry is the same as Satanism. So now let's talk about how Rihanna is a man. She has this very short hair and she dyed it pink, and she's wearing a white and blue outfit right here, which symbolizes the inverted flag that is pink, white, and blue. And this picture right here really disgusted me because she has this purse and look at what's on here. It's literally a shaft that she's showing off right here, and she has her tongue out like a demon. And it's really sad because they want to invert everybody. You know, they want to turn males into females and females into men, and they want people attracted to the same gender. And we see that so much nowadays. It's really sad. And then right here, she's holding that same type of private area in the air. And there's even an article that says, here's Rihanna pretending she has a massive willy. And this was really nasty because this really shows that they want women to date women and men to date men. Because look at what she's doing to this other girl right here. And keep in mind, these are her own fans that she's doing this to. You know, right here, she's touching this other woman on her chest. And here's some more fans that she touches on the chest. And this is very disturbing because this lady even did it back. And then here she is touching this girl's chest again. And here's another one. And then right here, this fan is holding her on the butt. And then right here, she's wearing this fetish shirt with a cross on it. And overall, all you have to do is look at their eyes to see how demonic they are. She looks very evil right here. So now let's talk about this connection with Denzel Washington. As you guys can see, Jay-Z has this video with Denzel Washington, and they're doing the same symbolism. And ASAP Rocky is based off of Denzel Washington, as you guys can see. I made a couple videos about this. I'll put a link in the description. But basically, ASAP Rocky's character is based off of Denzel. And ASAP Rocky is dating Rihanna, and Jay-Z signed Rihanna. So that's an interesting connection with this picture right here that proves even further that ASAP Rocky is one of Denzel Washington's characters. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope by now you guys can see that celebrities are fallen angels, because there's no other way to explain this picture. Along with these really creepy demonic pictures that Rihanna has right here. You know, in this one, she's literally showing that she's a demon. And right here, Rihanna really looks like a man. And notice these really long nails that look like demonic claws. And they have women getting very long nails nowadays. So people should really question the agenda behind that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe to my Patreon. And now I'm going to play the video that got deleted because there's so much more information in that video. So as you guys seen in that video, Rihanna literally flashed this demonic hand sign to everyone attending the Super Bowl. And what's really disturbing about this is the fact that she did this at the very end of the performance. And for some reason, when they were broadcasting this on TV, they switched the cameras so that everyone that was watching on TV only saw the fireworks that were going on outside. And the people watching on TV did not see Rihanna do this hand sign in plain sight. So only the people that filmed this from inside were able to have footage of this. And so many people caught on to this to the point where they made so many articles about it. This one says, hidden in plain sight, Rihanna Illuminati hand symbol conspiracy erupts in wake of viral Super Bowl video. And then this one says, fans think TV censored Rihanna's Illuminati sign during Super Bowl performance. So here's an actual video of her doing it close up so you guys can see the actual footage that wasn't shown on TV.
Diamonds in the sky.
And the most ironic thing about this whole situation is the fact that she's singing the song and then she throws up the diamond. But to everyone that was attending the Super Bowl, they seen this with their own eyes. So it's just crazy that the media tried to censor this. But this is not the first time she's done it. You know, she's done this diamond symbolism many times. Here's some more examples of her doing it. And she does this in a lot of performances, as you guys can see. And she likes covering one eye when she does it as well, which is double symbolism. And here's some more pictures of her blatantly doing this. So this was not the first time. And she even did it at the 2013 American Music Awards. So people should not be surprised that Rihanna's a demon. There's so much proof that this character is very demonic. And in this video, I'm going to be exposing everything that I found of her that is very demonic, including her admitting herself that she's a devil worshiper during an interview. But before I get into that, let's talk about this diamond symbolism. So when she was performing, the stage was literally a pyramid and she was at the top, and the triangle facing upward symbolizes the masculine energy. And then they also had a point where she was at the bottom, so the triangle was upside down, which symbolizes the feminine energy. And what these demons like to do is combine these two images to create a hexagon. As you guys can see, the picture on the left is a triangle facing upward combined with a triangle facing downward. And the symbol on the right is basically the same thing. They both represent the masculine and female energies in one, which is very inverted. You know, that's what they like to do. That's why all of their celebrities look masculine and female at the same time. And this diamond symbolism is also used for the Freemasonry logo. As you guys can see, their logo is literally a diamond. And the hexagram is also known as a sixagram because it is a six-pointed geometric star figure. And when you look at the definition of hex, because keep in mind this is a hexagram, the verb definition of hex is to cast a spell on or bewitch. And then the noun definition is a magic spell or a curse. So when they're doing this hexagon, they're literally doing a magical spell and cursing the viewers that are watching. And in this case, since it wasn't broadcasted on TV, she was cursing everybody in the audience that was physically there. So this is why I don't recommend going to celebrities' performances and their concerts, because it's all very demonic and they're casting many hexes on you, aka curses on you, when they do this symbolism in these performances. They're literally channeling demons when they do this. And I don't recommend watching this on TV either, because the music can really put you in a trance. And if your mind is not strong enough, these demons can enter your mind and even possess some people. So be careful what music you're listening to. Keep in mind, Lucifer was the angel of music in heaven. So this is why music is one of his biggest weapons that he uses to attack people. So don't listen to their music. They're casting spells on you in their music. And here's a music video where she's literally in a triangle. And most people think this hexagram is the Star of David, but this is actually false. They try to attach these witchcraft symbols to things of the Bible. But one thing you guys have to realize is when it comes to God, God doesn't need any symbols. You know, symbols are used by demons and Satan. So this is why I don't even recommend crosses, because all of that is pagan and demonic. You know, God doesn't need any symbols, any statues or anything. There's a verse about this where it says not to make any idols or statues or symbols. I talked about that in my Martin Luther King video because there's so many statues of him. But anyways, as you guys can see, the hexagram is heavily used in alchemy. And alchemy is a chemistry version of magic, sorcery, witchcraft, and enchantment. So there's some more proof that This symbol is used for black magic and witchcraft. And I mentioned this in my recent video about Jay-Z. You know, he does this symbol a lot. And right here you can see Drake doing the same symbolism. And then right here he's doing the 666 along with the one eye symbolism. And Drake even calls himself the sixth god. So this is a very demonic character because Revelation 13:18 says that the number of the beast is 666. And in 2014, there was many articles saying that Drake said Rihanna is the devil because he did this performance where he was singing a song and he flashed 666 on the screen, and then he flashed a picture of Rihanna really fast, and many people caught on to this. So here's the video, and I had to mute the video because there's music playing, so I don't want to get copyrighted. But all you have to do is look at the video for itself because it's very demonic, you know, and Rihanna looks very demonic in this picture as well. So this was a very creepy video. So not only did Drake basically admit that he worships the devil and that Rihanna does as well, but Rihanna also has an interview where she literally admits that she's a devil worshiper. So somebody was interviewing her because of this album cover that she has for her album Rated R, where she's literally doing one eye symbolism in plain sight. You know, she's blatantly covering her right eye, which symbolizes the Antichrist. And I'll explain that later on in the video. But for now, check out this video where she blatantly admits that she's a devil worshiper.
And of course, Rihanna is in the building.
Hey, Angie.
I cannot believe it's been so long that we have done this.
You know, I am misunderstood a lot at times. My music, my image, people have their whole thing about me, whether it be me being a devil worshiper or whatever. Besides them reading into my hand over my eye on my album cover.
Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about? Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
All right, well, I have tickets to see the devil worshiper.
So in that video, she openly admitted that she's a devil worshiper. And there's still so many fans that worship her and idolize her. But nobody should be idolizing these demons, man. They let us know in plain sight. They have to admit what they are. And in a lot of cases, they blatantly admit it with their mouth. But even if they don't admit it themselves with their mouth, they're still admitting it with their pictures, because every single celebrity has pictures like this where they're blatantly doing one eye symbolism. So here she is openly covering one eye, and even on this cover for this music video, her hair is covering one eye. And then right here she's doing the L symbolism for Lucifer, and she's also covering one eye again. And then right here she's covering her right eye, and here she is again covering the right eye. And if you notice with most of these pictures, when celebrities do one eye symbolism, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be covering their right eye. And they do this to reference the Antichrist because it says this in the Bible. And I mentioned it in multiple videos. But before I read that verse, here's some more pictures of her doing one eye symbolism in plain sight. And it's good to be aware of this symbolism. That way you won't get deceived. You know, there's so many people that would look at this and not see anything wrong with these pictures because they're not aware of it. So being aware of this is very important because there's no way that all of these pictures of her covering her right eye are just a coincidence. You know, she's blatantly doing it right here in plain sight. And this is a reference to the Antichrist because Zechariah 11:17 says, "Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock." This is referencing the Antichrist. "A sword shall be against his arm and against his right eye. His arm shall completely wither and his right eye shall be totally blinded." So this is why they're always covering the right eye. And in this picture right here, she's openly showing us that this symbolizes the Antichrist because she has an eye patch on the right eye. And this verse clearly says that the Antichrist's right eye will be totally blinded. So this one couldn't be any more obvious. You know, she's letting us know in plain sight with this eye patch. And right here as well, covering the one eye. And she even has an album called Anti, you know, which is short for Antichrist. And notice how in this album cover, it's a person covered in blood and there's a crown covering the eyes, which is a Freemasonic ritual. But what really caught my attention was the blood on this cover because lately they've been wearing blood red clothing in many big events. So during the Super Bowl, Rihanna wore this blood red outfit. And if you guys remember, Kanye wore a very similar thing as well. And lately, these blood red shoes have been trending everywhere. You know, there's so much blood red symbolism lately. Sam Smith, when he did his satanic performance, he was wearing blood red as well. And recently, Doja Cat wore this blood red outfit as well. And I made a video about this 2 weeks ago. If you guys are interested in that video, I'll put a link in the description. And I really went into detail about what this blood red symbolizes. And right now, Britney Spears' name on Instagram is River Red, as you guys can see. So she literally changed her name to River Red, which is directly referencing this verse in Revelation 16:4 that talks about the third angel that poured out his bowl on the rivers and they became blood. So that's why her name is River Red. And that's why there's been so many celebrities that have been wearing this blood red clothing. As you guys can see, here's some more. And Rihanna is the most recent one that has done this. And as you guys can see, all of the pictures of her in this performance are very demonic. You know, this is clearly a demonic stare. And it's like people are blinded to this because if you really look at her eyes, you can see how demonic she looks. You know, this does not look like a real human. And this entire performance was a demonic ritual. As you guys can see, they even had a cross at the bottom that was blood red as well. And her backup dancers were doing a lot of symbolism. As you guys can see, they're doing 666 right here. And they're sticking out their tongues. And I mentioned this in my recent video, but let's get a little bit deeper into the scores because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl with 38 points, right? And Lucifer equals 38. And the Eagles scored 35 points. And Satan equals 35. So both of these numbers are directly referencing Satan and Lucifer, which are two names of the devil. You know, the fact that both teams scored a number of points that connects to Lucifer and Satan is clearly not a coincidence. And not only that, but this 38 is also connected to Rihanna, you know, which proves that she was scripted to perform at the Super Bowl and that the scoreboard was obviously scripted as well because Jalen Hurts also equals 38 and he was the quarterback for the Eagles. And in my recent video, I talked about the LeBron James connection because he's 38 right now and he beat the 38,000 point world record on the 38th day of the year with 38 points. So if you guys are interested in that video, I'll put a link to this video in the description for those of you that haven't seen it. But anyways, moving along, Rihanna and Lucifer both equal 38 and 43 in the same ciphers. And the interesting thing about this is the number 43 because this number is heavily connected to the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl happened on the 43rd day of the year. So do you guys really think that's a coincidence? Rihanna performs on the 43rd day of the year and Rihanna equals 43, just like Lucifer in the same cipher. And 43 reverse is 34 and Rihanna is 34. You know, she performed at 34 years old. And her husband, A$AP Rocky, is also 34. So not only is her stage name Rihanna connected to Lucifer, but also her first name Robin. As you guys can see, her real name is Robin Rihanna Fenty. Robin equals 444, just like Lucifer, in the same cipher. And if you guys remember in my recent video about Jay-Z and LeBron, I talked about how Jay-Z has the album called 444. And also this name Robin is very weird. You know, Robin is a male name and it's usually spelled with an I, but all they did was change it to a Y to try to make it feminine, but that's still a masculine name. So she literally has a man's name, and I'll get to that later because she looks very masculine. But anyways, her full name, Robin Rihanna Fenty, equals 88, just like Lake of Fire, and she was born in 1988. And ironically, even A$AP Rocky was born in 1988, and Beast equals 88. So they're heavily connected to Lucifer and the Beast. Now let's get into her other character, Tyra Banks, because she's also connected to the number 88. But before I show you guys the gematria connections, let's take a look at these side-by-side comparisons. As you guys can see, Rihanna looks so much like Tyra Banks. You know, they even have a very similar demonic smile right here. And they both have a very big forehead as well. And Tyra Banks admitted this in the comments of one of Rihanna's pictures. So Rihanna posted this picture and Tyra Banks said, okay, so for a sec, I thought this was me. So she's blatantly admitting that Rihanna is based off of Tyra Banks. And their names are also connected in gematria. So Tyra Banks' real name is Tyra Lynn Banks. And her last name Banks equals 88, just like Rihanna's full name. And like I mentioned earlier, Rihanna was born in 1988. And then Rihanna's last name Fenty matches up with Tyra Banks' middle name Lynn. They literally have the same gematria in all four ciphers. They both equal 70, 25, 65, and 20. So now let's get into another one of Rihanna's characters, because keep in mind Rihanna is a very mixed character. They mix a lot of characters to make her character. That's why she looks like so many different people. And I'm just going to mention the three main people that she looks like, but keep in mind that she's mixed with so many more. So another character that she's heavily mixed with is Andra Day. As you guys can see, these two characters look so much alike, and they even have the same smile as well. And Andra Day did mockery with this, as they always do. This article says, Andra Day dressed as Rihanna at the Grammys and Twitter was so confused. And here's the picture of Andra Day where she's dressed as Rihanna. You know, she looks so much like her right there. She even has the red lipstick that Rihanna always wears. And they even have the same gematria of 38. So Rihanna and Andra both equal 38. And their names even sound similar as well. And like I mentioned earlier, Lucifer equals 38. So even her other character is connected to Lucifer. And then Rihanna's first and middle name equals 68. And Andra Day equals 68. And Andra Day's full name is Cassandra Monique Beatty. And both of their first and last names have the same gematria of 45. So Rihanna's first and last name is Robin Fenty. And as you guys can see, it equals 45, just like Andra Day's first and last name. So clearly Andra Day and Tyra Banks are two characters that Rihanna is heavily based off of. But there's way more. You know, another one is Rachel McAdams. And Divine Sade made a really good video about that. So I'll put a link to that video in the description for those of you that haven't seen it. But yeah, that's pretty much the three main characters that she looks like that I wanted to mention in this video. But keep in mind, there's so many more characters she's mixed with. So now let's talk about this weird video of Rihanna's hand. As you guys can see, she looks extremely demonic in this performance. She's doing this weird thing with her hand that is not humanly possible. And she's doing it with both hands, because you can see right here, the one against her head is doing the same thing as the one above. And this is not humanly possible. So this is 100% proof that Rihanna's a demon, because no real human can actually do this. You know, really look at her ring finger and her pinky, man. This is extremely creepy and demonic. There's no way a human can do this type of hand gesture. So that's very disturbing. And people made jokes about it, as they always do, to let it slide. You know, there was many articles about it, but all they did was show these jokes that people made on Twitter. Like, for example, this person said Rihanna's pinky is having an exorcism. So people know that this is demonic, but they just make jokes out of it. There's so many pictures of her looking very demonic. As you guys can see, she's doing the 666 hand gesture right here. And she has this music video where she literally shows these newspapers in the background, and it says Princess of the Illuminati. And there's other subliminal messages in here as well. As you guys can see, the S word on the left, and then another S word on the right. And all of these subliminal messages go in your brain. So this is why I don't recommend watching celebrities' music videos, because they're so filled with demonic subliminal messages. And in this case, she's literally admitting that she's demonic in this video, because as you guys can see, it says the goat right here, which is referencing the Baphomet. And if you look at this picture on the left, you can see that it says Rihanna and then it says the goat. And this one is disturbing as well, because not only is she doing one-eye symbolism right here, but if you look at the words on the bottom, it says that Rihanna is attracted to both genders and she could see herself in a relationship with a girl. So again, this is influencing women to be attracted to other women. So they're doing mind control in these music videos and in their music as well. And they're even doing it with their clothing. Right here, she's admitting in plain sight that her main agenda is to control minds. As you guys can see, this shirt says control minds backwards, and it's a backwards cross. And then she's wearing this other shirt that says think while it's still legal. And this is a big reference to the tribulation period, because after the rapture happens, you know, people aren't going to be able to think for themselves. It's going to be illegal to make your own decisions, because if you don't get the mark of the beast during that time, they're going to put you in prison or kill you. So she's really referencing the last days. You know, we really are in the end of times. And here's some more music videos with demonic symbolism, openly showing she's a demon with these pictures. She literally has claws on her fingers. And if you notice nowadays, a lot of women are getting very long nails, which is very demonic, by the way. Natural is always better, but these demons are tricking women into getting these claws on their nails, which is extremely demonic and pagan. And she has a lot of hands in this music video, which is very symbolic to a lot of Hindu deities, like Kali, for example, which is very demonic. I don't care what anybody says. There's so many people attached to these demons, and it's time that people see them for what they really are. If you can't see that this is a demon, I don't know what to tell you. So stop defending these demonic religions. Hinduism is extremely demonic. They're worshiping all of these false deities. They try to call themselves gods and goddesses, but these are actually demons, which is why her skin is blue. And there's also this other Hindu deity that has many arms as well, and this one is called Durga. And she's not the only one to reference these deities. Cardi B has a very similar picture doing this as well. But moving along, there's so many articles that reference Rihanna as the Illuminati princess pushing the satanic agenda. And as you guys can see, she literally is wearing horns in these photo shoots. And this is referencing Satan's statue, the Baphomet. This symbol does not mean rock on. This is a symbol of the Baphomet horns. So don't do this symbolism. For some reason, they've gotten a lot of regular people to do this symbolism, like if it's cool. But this symbolism literally means you're on the devil's side, which is why they promote it so much for people to do. And this is clearly a demon, man. I always point out to you guys that their tongues look extremely nasty. I talked about this in my Young Thug video and in my Brittany Griner video, because their tongues are very black, just like Rihanna's tongue right here. And again, this is not a natural human tongue. This is clearly a demon. And here she is again with the devil horns right there. And right here, she's subliminally doing it with this blood red outfit. If you zoom in, you can see her right there. And she's also wearing a witch hat in this picture. So now let's take a look at her Egyptian tattoos that she has, which are demonic deities as well. So I assume this one is referencing Horus, because it's a falcon that she has tatted on her ankle. And then she has this other Egyptian deity tatted on her chest. And notice the wings on it, very symbolic to the fact that she's a fallen angel. And then she has this shush tattoo on her finger, and she purposely got this tattoo on her index finger so that she can show it when she does this symbolism. And for the promotion of the Super Bowl, she did this symbolism as well in plain sight, and everyone overlooked this. This commercial was everywhere, and nobody saw anything wrong with this. It really shows how desensitized people are right now. And her hair looks really creepy as well. So this symbolism symbolizes the seventh seal, which is the silence in heaven. So when the seventh seal is open, there will be silence in heaven for about half an hour. So all of this symbolism that they do is always referencing Revelation, because we're very close to the opening of the seventh seal. Then here's another really creepy picture of Rihanna in bondage. And this is very creepy because she's dressed like a child. And then right here, she has this music video where she's on this black and white checkerboard floor, which symbolizes turning bad into good and turning good into bad. So now let's talk about this creepy Medusa snake photo shoot that she has. She openly did this on a GQ magazine cover and nobody questioned it. She literally looks like a demon right here. In this photo shoot, she's openly admitting that she's a fallen angel on Lucifer's side. As you guys can see, she has these snake fangs and her whole head is covered in snakes, and there's a big snake wrapped around her. She's even doing one eye symbolism on the right eye with the snake. So this is a direct reference to Lucifer and the Antichrist. So this is a very demonic photo shoot that she did, and it's crazy how people don't question this type of stuff. She literally has these reptilian eyes, and that's why people call them reptilian, because in a sense they are. Satan is depicted as a serpent in the Bible in Genesis, and a serpent is a snake, which is a reptile. So that's why a lot of times they get reptilian eyes. And this is also symbolizing Medusa. In Greek mythology, Medusa, also known as Gorgo, was one of the 3 monstrous gorgons, generally described as winged human females with living venomous snakes in place of hair. Those who gazed into her eyes would turn into stone. So notice how they said winged human females. You know, that's a big hint at the fact that these are fallen angels. And as you guys can see, this looks very demonic, just like the Medusa. And this one is really creepy because she's literally licking the snake. I can't show the full pictures of this photo shoot because it's very provocative and I can't show that on YouTube. But basically, she's naked in these pictures, which symbolizes that she's in love and making love to Satan. And this one is directly referencing that because she has a snake right there on her private parts. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is the true story of Adam and Eve. So I'll break it down to you guys right now. Basically, Genesis 3:13 says, "The Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat." So like I mentioned in my last video, you know, the King James Version is the best version you can read, along with the New King James Version. You know, if you're an English speaker, this is the best version that we can possibly read because the other ones are very distorted. But even this one is very watered down. I explained this in my LeBron James video. The devil created English to make a watered down version of the Bible. Everyone in the US was basically forced to speak English instead of Hebrew and Greek. So now we're forced to read this watered down version in English. But like I mentioned in my last video, you can get this app that will help you understand the translations from Hebrew to English. So on this app, I looked at this verse and the word beguiled is not detailed enough to describe what actually happened. So if you click on this H5377, you know, that's the link to the actual translation of the Hebrew word used in this verse. So when you click on that on this app, you can see that the actual definition of the Hebrew word in this part of the verse actually means seduce. You know, but instead in the King James Version, they put beguile. And in other versions, they put deceive and stuff like that. So you guys can see how they're literally watering down the Bible because in the Hebrew version, it says to seduce. And seduce is way more descriptive of what actually happened here because the snake, aka Lucifer, seduced Eve into having relations with her. So that's what actually happened in this story. And most people that read the English King James Version wouldn't understand that because it's so watered down. So this is why I recommend getting these apps to help you learn the actual translations of these words so you can better understand it. If you guys want to see the app that I mentioned, go watch my last video. But anyways, moving along, as you guys can see, that's why she's licking the snake and putting it right here. You know, she's directly referencing this verse right here about how Lucifer mated with Eve and that's how Cain was born. You know, that's the actual true story of Adam and Eve, in case you guys didn't know. And again, she's referencing it right here as well with this snake on her private area. So now let's talk about the bathtub symbolism that a lot of celebrities do. As you guys can see, all of them have pictures in a bathtub for some reason. And Rihanna has so many pictures in a tub. As you guys can see, she even has videos in a tub. And Drake also has a very similar picture as well in a tub. And the reason for this is because bathtub and Lucifer have the same gematria. They both equal 74, 115, and 43 in the same ciphers. So this is a direct reference to Lucifer. And also keep in mind, Rihanna is a man. So in these pictures, you can clearly see she has an Adam's apple right there. You know, this is obviously a man in plain sight. And again, you can see her Adam's apple as well. And they basically admitted it on the cover of this magazine that she did because she has this picture on the cover of the magazine and she has short hair like a man. And on the right, it says Men of the Year. And in small letters in parentheses, it says, and one hot woman. So again, this is admitting in plain sight that she's a man. And this is why she started this trend of this short male haircut. This is literally a man's haircut. And she made it a trend for women. And she also has this all-seeing eye necklace on right here. So recently Rihanna called her 9-month-old son fine. And I find this very weird. You know, she tried defending this and normalizing this. But this is actually really creepy. She's basically implying that she's attracted to her own son. And also I want to point out that this cover of her and A$AP Rocky is very inverted, because notice how they put Rihanna bigger and she's leading the family as the male figure of the family. So she's the man in the household and A$AP Rocky is the woman. And as you guys can see, he looks very feminine and he's the one holding the baby. But in reality, the woman should be holding the baby and the man should be leading the family in the front. So this is very inverted. And she looks so demonic in these new pictures. You know, she literally looks like a witch right here. And everybody thinks this is cute. You know, nobody finds anything demonic about this. And also I want to mention that their babies are not actually their babies. This baby literally looks nothing like Rihanna or A$AP Rocky. And again, here's another demonic picture that she has with the pink and blue symbolism for the inverted flag. And then she has these weird pictures with this Pope hat. You know, very weird. Here's some more weird pictures that she has that are very demonic. And they love to use this red, white, and black symbolism. And notice how she has this umbrella and there's two men under her umbrella. She has a very demonic song called Umbrella. And it basically is referencing the fact that she says she wants people under her umbrella because she wants people under her wing to go with her to hell. And last thing I want to point out is this music video Umbrella, where she's doing this creepy demonic pose that is inhuman. And I'll play a video explaining how this is not possible to do. You know, this pose that she's doing right here on the left is not humanly possible. So this has to be a demon doing this. And if you look closely at the picture, you can see that it's the Baphomet's goat head. So here's a clear picture showing you guys. This is an Illuminati satanic subliminal message found on Rihanna's Umbrella music video. In the image above, you can see the head of the Baphomet. When artists say Rain Man, the majority of the time, they are referring to a devil. In Rihanna's song Umbrella, the song is not about a woman's love for a man. Instead, it tells a complex story. This whole song is about the devil. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. And subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and here's the videos.
There are several things that immediately stand out about this frame. Something is not quite right here. It is probable that you have already sensed that something strange is going on in this frame. Let us take a closer look. This frame is dualistic in nature. It tells two stories simultaneously. Look closely at Rihanna's hair. There are only a few strands leaning down towards the ground. How is this possible? If her head is fully bowed, then shouldn't all of her hair be leaning down towards the ground? Shouldn't the hair on the back of her head fold over towards the ground as well? Secondly, there are anatomical impossibilities present in this frame. The distance between Rihanna's bowed head and shoulders is anatomically disproportionate. Given the relative position of her trapezius muscles and pectoralis major muscles, Rihanna's neck would have to be about 11 inches long in order for her head to reach that low. From this position, her neck would also have to be stretched downward at an anatomically impossible angle. But this is not all. The fact that we can simultaneously see the trapezius muscles and the pectoralis major muscles indicates that this frame has been doctored, changed, or digitally edited. The trapezius muscles and the pectoralis major muscles are posterior and anterior respectively. In other words, they are opposite of each other, one existing at one's back, the other at one's front. So then, how is it possible that we are able to see both so clearly here, unless this picture has been somehow altered? But why would it be altered? What purpose would it serve to alter this picture in such a way? Let's look closely at this area. What is this small horizontal line here? Is it some sort of protruding bone? Is it some sort of spontaneous mutation, the effect of which has formed bone structure only existing on one human being on the planet? If this is bone structure, then why is it not visible on the other side? This is not some protruding bone. This frame has been purposely altered. This small horizontal line is in actuality a right eye. We can therefore add the left eye. Eyes, eyebrow ridges, small forehead region, top of head, horns, snout, mouth, miscellaneous bone structure. The head is in plain sight.